Good evening students. This is the continuing part from lecture 2. This is the continuation part from lecture 2. In lecture 2 we have discussed the process respiration. There is a single topic left over there. So that topic will be covered in this session. So what is respiration? Respiration is breaking down of glucose or breaking down of food, breaking down of glucose or breaking down of food to release energy. It is respiration. It is a process of breaking down of food or glucose, that is oxidation, to release energy. Clear? So this was the definition of respiration, and there are all total 4 steps. There are all total 4 steps of respiration. Clear? So in this session we will study how glucose was breaking down or how glucose is breaking down through various pathways. Clear? We will study in detail how glucose or food is breaking down to various pathways. So let's recall the 4 steps of respiration. Number 1 step was breathing. Number 2 step was exchange of gases, exchange between lungs and blood. Number 3 step was exchange between blood and organs, and number 4 step was cellular respiration. So there are total 4 steps of respiration. Number 1 step was breathing. Number 2 step exchange between lungs and blood. Number 3 step was exchange between blood and organs, and number 4 step was cellular respiration. Now what was breathing? The breathing is exchange of gases. That is, we take in oxygen and we give out carbon dioxide. That is breathing. Number 2, exchange between lungs and blood. Number 3, exchange between blood and organs. Clear? Now what happens when organs have oxygen? When organs have got oxygen, that oxygen converts into tissues, that oxygen goes into tissues. Clearly, or more precisely, that oxygen goes into cells, because tissues are composed of cells. That oxygen goes directly into cells. Clear? And the cellular respiration starts. Now whenever food, that is whenever food or glucose, this is food. Now whenever food or glucose enters into cells, it first goes to cytoplasm. Clear? Whenever food or glucose enters into cells, it first goes into cytoplasm. Clear? And as soon as it reaches cytoplasm, it converts to pyruvate compound. Clear? Listen carefully. Whenever food or glucose enters into cell, it first goes to cytoplasm. As soon as it reaches to cytoplasm, it converts into pyruvate compound. What is pyruvate compound? The pyruvate is 3 carbon molecule compound. And releases energy. Initially glucose was 6 carbon molecules. The formula of glucose is C6H12O6. That is, initially glucose was 6 carbon molecules. 6 carbon means 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Initially glucose was 6 carbon molecules, and pyruvate is 3 carbon molecules. Clearly? So whenever food, that is glucose, enters into cells, it first reaches to cytoplasm, and as soon as it enters into cytoplasm, glucose partially breaking down to pyruvate compound. That is, initially glucose was 6 carbon compound, it breaks down to 3 carbon compound, that is pyruvate compound, and releases energy. Clear? So this is the first step of breaking down of glucose. The respiration is not just complete. The respiration is not complete now. Clear? So from pyruvate compound there are 3 cases arises. There are total 3 cases arises. Now if we talking about this case, in this case specially found in human beings. This type of respiration specially found in human beings. If we talk about human beings, that is, if we talk about us, the respiration follows this pathway. Maximum respiration follows this pathway. Clear? So pyruvate compound converts to carbon dioxide. This pyruvate compound goes to mitochondria in presence of oxygen and converts to carbon dioxide, water, and releases energy. Clear? So pyruvate initially was 3 carbon molecule compound. It converts to one molecule of carbon, that is CO2. Here carbon is only one molecule carbon. that is pyruvate initially was 3 carbon molecule compound, it converts to only 1 carbon molecule, that is pyruvate compound in presence of oxygen, and in mitochondria it converts to carbon dioxide, water and releases energy. Initially pyruvate was 3 carbon molecule compound and it completely breaks down. It completely breaks down to 1 molecule of carbon compound. Clear? Initially 3 carbon molecule and converts to 1 carbon molecule. That is here complete breaking down taking place. Here complete breaking down of carbon molecule takes place. Clear? So this type of respiration generally found in human beings. This type of respiration found in human beings. Clear? Maximum respiration follows this pathway. So this is case number 1. This is your case number 1. Next, second case, in absence of oxygen. In absence of oxygen means anaerobic respiration. We have studied there are 2 types of respiration. One is in presence of oxygen, that is aerobic respiration, and another one is absence of oxygen, that is anaerobic respiration. Anaerobic respiration generally found in yeast. What is yeast? Yeast is one type of fungi. Yeast is one type of fungi, that is in absence of oxygen or in yeast, pyruvate compound converts to ethanol, carbon dioxide and energy. Clear? Pyruvate compound converts to ethanol, carbon dioxide and energy. Clear? In absence of oxygen. Clear? This type of respiration found in generally in yeast, and this type of respiration is called fermentation. This type of respiration called fermentation. It is generally found in yeast and in absence of oxygen. Listen carefully. Pyruvate initially was 3 carbon molecule compound. Pyruvate initially was 3 carbon molecule compound and it converts into 2 carbon molecule. That means in this case, this is case number 2. In this case, incomplete breaking down of carbon occurs. Incomplete breaking down takes place. Incomplete, not complete, incomplete, because absence of oxygen. If oxygen would have been present, the breaking down was complete. If oxygen would have been present, there was complete breaking down. As oxygen is absent, the breaking down is not complete. It is incomplete breaking down take place. Clear? So here the breaking down is incomplete as oxygen is absent. Incomplete breaking down of carbon molecule. Clear? So this is case number 2. It is known as fermentation. Next, case number 3. Lack of oxygen. Now when our body runs lack of oxygen, whenever we are doing exercises or heavy exercises like jumping or whenever you are running around, then our body runs through lack of oxygen. Clear? And that in that case, pyruvate compound directly converts into lactic acid, which is stored in our body and releases energy. Clear? Whenever we are doing exercises, heavy exercises or running, that's our body is running through lack of oxygen. Clear? In that case, pyruvate compound that was initially 3 carbon molecule compound, it directly converts into lactic acid to supply oxygen to our body and releases energy. Clear? Here initially pyruvate compound was 3 carbon molecule compound and lactic acid that is also 3 carbon molecule. That is no breaking down of carbon molecule takes place. Here no breaking down of carbon molecule takes place. Pyruvate was initially 3 carbon molecule compound and lactic acid is also a 3 carbon molecule compound. Clear? So this is the third case. So one is fermentation, another one is lack of oxygen, that is it generally occurs in our muscle cells. Lack of oxygen, that is the third case, generally occurs in our muscle cells. Clear? It is one type of anaerobic respiration. These two one type of anaerobic respiration. Clear? And the third case was, that is in case of human beings, it converts into carbon dioxide, water and energy. Maximum respiration follows this pathway. Maximum respiration follows this pathway. So this is the flow chart of how glucose is breaking down in various pathways. Clear? So here are some equations. This is the glucose, which is a 6 carbon molecule compound. In presence of oxygen, it is breaking down into carbon dioxide, water and energy. So this is the third case. Clear? Initially glucose is in presence of oxygen, it is breaking down carbon dioxide, water and releases energy. So here complete breaking down takes place. This is the third case. This was the third case. That means this case. This is the first case. That is this case. Clear? This is the first case, that is in this case, in presence of oxygen. This is the first case. Next, glucose in absence of oxygen, it converts into ethanol, carbon dioxide and energy. This is ethanol. This is the formula of ethanol. This is the formula of ethanol. So this was your second case. This was your second case where incomplete breaking down takes place. This was your second case. That means this case, second case. This is the formula of ethanol. Next, number 3, glucose which is breaking down, that is lack of oxygen. It is oxygen is not present. That means lack of oxygen means in our muscle cells. Whenever we are doing exercises or running around, clear? That means our body runs through lack of oxygen. Then glucose directly converts into lactic acid. Glucose directly converts into lactic acid and releases energy. This is the formula of lactic acid. Here no carbon molecule is breaking down. Here glucose initially was 6 carbon molecule. Glucose initially was 6 carbon molecule and it converts into pyruvate compound. It converts into pyruvate compound and then pyruvate compound directly converts into lactic acid. So pyruvate was initially 3 carbon molecule compound and lactic acid also is a 3 carbon molecule compound. This is the 1 carbon molecule, this is number 2 and this is number 3, that is 3 carbon molecule compound. Clear? So these are the equations of breaking down of glucose in various pathways. Clear? So this was your leftover topic. Respiration total complete. Clear? In the next session we will study about the rest of the topic like transportation, excretion, human digestive system. Clear? Thank you.